Hi there. Today we're out at, well, right now we're at Bard's Lake, out at Land Between the Lakes, but we're in the old community of Tharpe, Tennessee. It was first settled by some Scarborough and Gatlin families back in the early 1800s, 1804, 1805, and just a small little community through the Civil War, and then it picked up a little bit more after that. Some mercantile stores, mills, and a few other things, but after eminent domain and everything was just lost to the federal government back here now, so there's not a whole lot left, but we're just out exploring. My work this year, since I've returned, has me on some really crazy work schedule, so I'm not spending too much time with my wife, and foregoing deer season this year, so when we can get some time together, uh, then we're just going to be doing little stuff like this. So um, we're going to be exploring a few little back roads back here, and just thought we would take you along. So you may remember an older video, but we've been out here a couple times paddling around and stuff. But this is Bard's Lake. There's, I call it the Boy Scout camp at Brandon Springs group camp anyhow. And yeah, this is Bard's Lake. We've seen this little thing from the roadside, thought we'd stop and take a peek at it. We're only 50 or 60 yards off the road, so looks like maybe a little old cistern thing, but if you look just over here, there's a foundation, old home site, and when I was just walking up on this little hill area here, there's some, looks like bulldozed over remnants of concrete and stuff, so we're just over there. Yeah, looks like maybe, I don't know what it is. Maybe part of a cistern, I don't know. Some old jars. I can see why you would want to build a home back here. It's a pretty little spot. Nice little ridge, little creek line. Okay. Yeah, just what's left of an old home. Pretty good sized one. Yeah, the more I look at this, it reminds me of another site we seen a couple weeks back ago, but I think it's, no, I don't think any longer it's an old house. I think probably an old barn. Just looking at the foundation on this one. An old dry creek bed.
So that is a creek.
Looks like it. Pretty neat little find. Looks like an old battery of some sort, made by Rayovac Company, Madison, Wisconsin. Huh. And probably the old home to the barn. We are maybe, well, there's that. And down in that little flat down there is the old barn. And right over here into the bright sun, right there's the road we're parked on. So I bet you this is the old home site for that little barn. There's the steps, the corner, some probably roof siding. Not much left of it. Old metal box. I don't think it was entirely the home, but it's not very big. This maybe 10 feet across. Maybe part of the porch. I don't know. Alright, now back on the road, heading back towards the truck. And see what else we can find. Yeah, we just climbed the top of this pretty steep hill too. We were on our way to look for a Whitfield cemetery, but it's deeper into the woods than I care to go right now. It's still deer season, and it's further past this old roadbed here, so I think we're going to forego looking for that today. We're not dressed to be wandering around in the woods during deer season. On down towards the truck. So we find ourselves a little road or something off of the road. Thought we'd go explore it.
Is that it?
I don't know, Leafy. A little plank type of a bridge, maybe? It's kind of neat. Maybe the side of a barn. Maybe a side of a barn. I just caught a glimpse of it. This is going to be kind of neat because it's like in the middle of the field woods now. We are in a little swampy area. Following this old little pathway here. Up ahead on the horizon line is the main road that you can drive through. This is just low swamp country. And as we come around this turn here past the thickets, check this out. An old bridge in the middle of nowhere now. Isn't that kind of neat? I wonder what the history of this little bridge is. It's too narrow for any form of automobile. Land acquisition took place in the 1960s, so there was automobiles. I don't even think wide enough for horse carts or anything, so I wouldn't think that. Thinking it always had to have been a pedestrian bridge. Okay, check this out. I just found that at the base of the bridge. That is, I'm going to get in the shadows here better. This huge piece of slag. Of course, this is all iron industry back in the 1800s, but look at that thing. It's almost the size of a baseball. Isn't that pretty awesome? Oh, I'm going to try to keep this going. My battery's dying, but there are some blue blazes down there. It's probably an abandoned trail system because it doesn't show up on maps anymore. But anyhow, that's kind of neat, that little bridge. Okay, so bear with me. I'm trying to let the other camera charge a little bit, so this one might be a little bit different. But this little building, we have known about for quite some time. I just thought it was an old little barn building because of the color, or a shed building of some sort. And recently, by reading a blog from Four Rivers Explorer, I found out the history of it. So this is Dr. Scarborough's office. He moved into or lived in the area in the mid-1800s, graduated after fathering 10 children from medical school in the 1870s. So we're assuming that this building is at least that old. That's it. Never knew the history of it before. I just associated it to being an old shed or a barn type of building. Little community cemetery from the day. Now it's it's rightfully named Hilltop, and it is on top of a hill. Now just in the middle of the woods too. Kind of neat that people have decorated it. Wind chimes are pretty nice. Okay, so now we're parked at this little campsite that right off the road that I've seen quite a bit. I think a lot of hunters use it, and you'll see RVs camped out here quite a bit, and more so during archery season. But there's this other little spot that I want to go to. I've seen some pictures of it on Facebook, so I already know what I'm looking for. And it's supposed to be down this way here, which I'm going to spin you around. Down in through here. Again, it is hunting season, but driving out here I have not seen the first vehicle one. And I think this year they're doing something different with deer season, to where I think it's archery only throughout all the different seasons. So anyhow, I have not seen the first park vehicle for hunters. But we're not going to be strolling too far off of this old path anyhow. So this camera doesn't have much of a battery left. I'm going to turn it off after we pass through this little farm field until we get to where we're going. So this is that same little creek that the bridge earlier was on. We're about a mile away from that bridge now. Nice water. Yeah, we're on a foot traffic only path.
Well, I don't like it when trees do.
Another nice old farm field. Now into another farm field. There it is, just kind of there at the center of the screen, just past all the thick stuff. There's what we came out here to look for, was the old farm site. I guess that's an old house. We're going to find a way up into it, check it out closer. Looks like it's seen some better days. Yeah, I think it's a house too. Yeah, so there's the front porch. Side of the house. Some other outbuildings. And the low flat. These farm fields that you looked out on. Just a pretty location. Okay, so you can see the construction style of this is kind of neat. Looks like at one time it was more of a log building, log home. And then that looks like probably where the fireplace was. There's logs and timbers, and then over time got framed in as with slats and became more of the frame structures that we see today. Pretty neat. I wish I knew more of the history. I don't. I have no idea whose place this is or was, how far back it goes. It's just lost to time, I guess. So that's pretty much it that we had planned for today. We're just out exploring, like I said, the Tharpe community, and I want to thank you for coming along with us. We're going to wrap up things here, just looking around this old farm site, and then head on back home. So again, thank you, and we'll see you next time.